everybody. So today we're going to talk about viburnums. Viburnums are a plant that are very often used ornamentally because they have these really pretty flowers. You've probably seen them. They got like little poof balls. In fact, the first one I'm going to talk about actually has the nickname snowball tree because the flowers form into little like white flower balls. That is this one right here. It also has the name European cranberry bush because they look a little bit like cranberries. Now these were sent to me by Raymond. So Raymond, thank you very much. Raymond has sent me a whole bunch of very interesting things that he has foraged in his homeland of the Northwest. Now, a little bit more about these is that they have a lot of cultural significance in the Ukraine and in Russia. In the Ukraine, there's an association with the birth of the universe and also one's homeland. So that's kind of like a symbol of that. This is a national symbol of Russia, and it is symbolic for love, shown by the red hot color there. They're very pretty looking. Nice round. They look like very large, succulent currants, kind of. You can eat them in small amounts, but if you eat a lot of them, they'll make you sick. And there are some viburnum species that are entirely edible, I believe, and there's some where you can't eat them at all. So these ones from what I've read are they're used, but only used in small amounts. And often when they are used, they are made into jams and cooked with. So I'm just gonna eat like one or two of these raw to get an idea of what the taste is. Oh, that is not very good. In a lot of different ways, that is not very good. It's very sour, for one, but it's like an acrid kind of sour. So on the sourness scale, I put that maybe at like an 8. It's also quite bitter. It's kind of like the bitterness you would get if you just like took grapefruit rind and took a bite out of it. But there's also this little bit of like a cheesiness to it that you would get from fruits like the nonche or noni even, like a little bit. Not as bad as noni, but there's like a little bit of a cheesiness to it. In the center of that fruit there is one flat seed, which you can see right there. I'm not really detecting much sweetness from it. Like a little bit, maybe like a 1 or a 2, but it's definitely overshadowed by the sourness and astringency that has. I'm not going to go for another one. In fact, I'm going to wash out my mouth a little bit and then I'm going to try the next one. This one here is a different viburnum. This is a Viburnum edule. This is Viburnum edule. This is Viburnum opulus. So as you can see, the coloring is a bit different. This one is much lighter color than this one. Otherwise, they look very similar. Some people actually call this Viburnum opulus edule. Like they'll have that opulus in there as well because they are oh so closely related. So I'm going to try this. Ugh. It's a symbol of love, huh? Oh, love hurts, guys, because that is exactly the same. Sour, bitter, astringent, cheesy. So I've decided to make a jam out of these. I pulled them off the stems, as you can see, and inside this half cup I have almost filled it up. There are recipes out there, but a lot of them call for many different things in it, so I'm curious if that's also for a reason. This is not probably the best way of doing it, but it'll at least give you an idea of seeing if these transform. So I will take all of my berries and put them in this pot along with a half cup of water. Some of the recipes actually call for you to remove the seeds and some of them don't. The seeds contain a lot of bitterness. It might not actually be a great idea to eat jam that has a lot of the seed flavor in it because that bitterness might come with part of the thing that makes you sick if you eat too many. So yeah, with the small amount that I'm using, I'm just going to be careful not to cook these for too long. And one of the recipes I was looking at actually said to only simmer these, don't bring these to a full boil, and let them simmer for 15 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do. We're simmering, so I've lowered the heat to low, and I'm going to take this potato masher and... Oh! Oh god, that smell. That cheesy, nasty Parmesan smell is definitely in the air right now. Yeah, that is something fierce. Oh, I can't imagine how this is going to taste good, but people say that it tastes really good. It's been 15 minutes, so it's time to strain this out. And just to be sure, I'm going to measure this and see how much liquid we have. It's evaporated slightly, but still about a half a cup. This is going to go back into the pot, and I'm going to take an equal amount of sugar and dissolve that into the juice. And now this is going to simmer for another 15 minutes. So it has gotten nice and dark and syrupy. It is not looking like thick like a jam would look. It looks more like a jelly. There's quite a lot of juice in there. And yeah, still smells. There is a technique or art, if you will, to make jam, and that involves sterilizing jars and stuff like that. It's important to be careful not to contaminate what you're making by letting bacteria go in and stuff like that. But since I am literally only making less than half a cup of this stuff, I am going to pour it directly into this yellowing Tupperware. My cat is up there. What are you doing up there? Alright. So it's been a few days, and I've got my jelly. It thickened up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's more of like a thick syrup than a jelly because I didn't add any additional pectin or anything to it, and it definitely still has that cheesy smell to it, but I don't know if that's any better or worse. I mean, it's got sugar in it, so it's probably better tasting with the sugar boiled into it, but yeah, that is pungent. That is very pungent. I don't want to eat this. If you live in Mexico or South America and you like that nonche fruit, this smells a lot like that, so you might like this if you like that. Me, I really hate nonche fruit, so I'm not thinking I'm going to like this, but it has an audience. Some people like that sort of thing. Just not this guy. Alright, so I'm just going to dip my bread in there. Oh. It definitely has like a good flavor in there, but also has a really, really horrible flavor too. Unfortunately, that cheesiness is very distracting. Almost as distracting as this dog that's barking outside right now. Can you hear that? It's annoying. Yeah, so I can't really pick up the nuanced flavors that are inside this thing. So that means I need to try more of it, which is also has the additional bonus of being mildly toxic. So, I mean, honestly, I could probably eat this entire thing without any negativity. But let's give it a try. Oh, it's like if you took some cherry cough syrup and mixed Parmesan cheese into it. That's kind of what that's like. I mean, it's obviously much sweeter with all the sugar in there, but it doesn't get rid of that cheesiness. That cheesiness is still there. It's less noticeable than if you have it fresh, but still quite pronounced. So if you like that sort of thing, if you like nanche, if you like noni, and other things like that, then this is probably the sort of thing for you. For me, not so much, but I can see some people liking this sort of thing, because I know that is a flavor that some people like. It's an acquired taste, though, and I have yet to acquire it. So, not for me, but it might be for you. So I think that's about it. Once again, Raymond, thank you so much for sending me these things. I know I don't like this particular one, but it was still very interesting to try. And I hope everyone else out there enjoyed watching this. So I will see you next time. Bye-bye. I want to give a special shout out to AltPod and Smarter Every Day. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. Patreon is how this channel happens. It's how I can afford to do all the things that I do. So if you want to help me out by supporting the channel and getting some bonuses along the way, check out the description. I also have these shirts for sale. Those are in the description as well. See you next time. Bye.